To some, he is a villain. To others, a traitor. But in the end, he was something far more complicated, a man who sacrificed everything for love. Severus Snape was never the hero of the story. He was cold, ruthless, and filled with bitterness. But behind the sneers and cruelty lay a truth no one saw until it was too late. Born to a Muggle father and a witch mother, young Severus grew up in a broken home. But there was one light in his life, Lily Evans. She was his best friend, his anchor, and the only person who ever truly saw him. They spent their childhood exploring the wonders of magic together. But when they arrived at Hogwarts, everything changed. Lily was sorted into Gryffindor, while Severus found himself among the ambitious and ruthless Slytherins. He was drawn to the dark arts, fascinated by power, and surrounded himself with those who would later become Voldemort's most devoted followers. Lily warned him. She begged him to turn away. But blinded by his desire to prove himself, he didn't listen. Then came the moment that sealed his fate. Humiliated by James Potter and his friends, Severus lashed out with a single word: mudblood. He saw the hurt in Lily's eyes, the betrayal, but by the time he tried to take it back, it was too late. She walked away, and with her, the only true love he had ever known. But his worst mistake was still to come. Eager to rise in Voldemort's ranks, he carried out missions for the Dark Lord, unknowingly setting in motion a tragedy that would define him forever. He overheard a prophecy, a child born at the end of July, destined to destroy Voldemort, and without hesitation he reported it. Only later did he realize the terrible truth. The prophecy referred to Harry Potter, and by revealing it, he had sentenced Lily to death. Desperate to save her, he went to the one man he had always despised, Albus Dumbledore. He begged, he pleaded, offering anything in return for Lily's life. But it wasn't enough. Voldemort came for the Potters, and despite Snape's pleas, he did not spare Lily. Grief consumed him, but Dumbledore gave him a purpose. He could not bring Lily back, but he could protect the only thing she had left behind, her son. And so, the Death Eater became a double agent, playing a dangerous game that no one could know about. To the world, he remained cruel and untrustworthy. To Harry, he was nothing but a tormentor. But every insult, every punishment, every moment of hatred, it was all part of the act. He walked the line between two worlds, risking everything to deceive the Dark Lord. When Voldemort returned, Snape's role became even more dangerous. He was forced to commit the ultimate betrayal, to kill the only man who had ever trusted him. With a heavy heart, he cast the fatal curse upon Dumbledore, fulfilling a pact they had made long before. But few knew the full truth. Dumbledore was already dying, weakened by the curse from Marvolo Gaunt's ring. Together, they devised a plan. Snape would be the one to end his life, ensuring Voldemort's trust while sparing Draco Malfoy from committing murder. It was a necessary sacrifice, but one that marked Snape as a traitor in the eyes of those who had once called him ally. From that moment on, his life became a balancing act on the razor's edge. He fed Voldemort half-truths while secretly working to protect Harry. But when the war reached its peak, he was cast aside like a pawn. Voldemort, believing Snape held the Elder Wand's power, ordered his execution without a second thought. As he lay dying, bleeding out on the floor of the Shrieking Shack, he asked only for one thing: to look into Harry's eyes, Lily's eyes, the only part of her that remained. And with his final breath, he gave Harry the truth.